what's up fellas? Jordan here and welcome to another edition of Q&A Tuesday, answering your main questions that you've sent through, the ones that I think are the best. So the first question we'll get started with, the one I think needs answering straight away, was an interesting one. Can't remember who it came from. It said, what is the best way to lose stomach fat besides eating healthy? Interesting question. Now, firstly I want to define what eating healthy is. So eating healthy is essentially, to me, eating majority of your foods from natural sources, as least processed as possible. So meats, vegetables, fibrous foods, fruit, even some processed foods to a point, like grains, wheat, that kind of thing. But if you're having most of those foods, if you're eating beef, chicken, veggies, fruit, that's kind of what you eat normally on each day anyway. So if you wanted to define eating healthy, you're eating all these foods that you'd probably naturally eat in your diet anyway. I don't think it's that big of a deal to eat healthy, so to say. So the next question you have to ask yourself is, what's wrong with eating healthy? It's not that hard. Eating healthy doesn't mean chicken and lettuce for the rest of your life. You've got a range of foods that you can be eating. So the question shouldn't be, how do I not eat healthy? It should be, what more foods can I enjoy? Maybe look at that list of healthy foods that you can enjoy and start eating them instead. If you want to eat junk food for the rest of your life, feel free to do that. You can lose weight. It's hard to lose purely fat and not muscle eating junk food, but if you're on a calorie deficit, you will lose weight, so that's an option. But what's wrong with eating healthy? It's not that hard, and you don't have to do too much for it. You don't have to go extreme. Just majority of food, start eating the stuff you're already eating, or what most of us are already eating. Okay, so that's answering question number one. Number two is, how do I improve my chin-ups? Again, we want to define what the question's about. Why do you want to improve your chin-ups? Are you entering a chin-up contest? Because otherwise, there's no functional need to improve your chin-ups. If you want to do it just for a certain goal, how do you improve anything? Practice. Perfect practice makes perfect. Just do more chin-ups. Progressively overload your chin-ups. Replicate the movements of chin-ups that you can do consistently. So, lat pull downs, that kind of thing. Closed grip lat pull downs if you're doing, lat pull ups, that kind of thing. Replicating the same movements just in different ways to help improve that area. But again, if you just want to generally improve your chin ups, do more chin ups. Increase the volume that you're doing them in. Practice more. Practice slowing down the tempo. So if you can only do 8, do 4 at really slow tempo, and then your final set, go max all out and see how you do. That kind of thing. All right, very simple stuff. If you want to practice something and get better at it, you do it more. Next question. I eat good foods, but I still stay the same. This is a very, very common one. You're eating what you consider pretty healthy, but you're not losing weight at all. Remember, weight is controlled by calories in versus calories out. If you're eating more than your body's burning, you'll put on weight. If you eat less than your body's burning, you'll lose weight. So you can eat as much healthy food as you wanted. If you're eating more healthy food than your body's burning, you're still going to put on weight. It might be better weight because you're eating healthy, but just because you're eating 7,000 calories of oranges and they're healthy doesn't mean you're not going to put on weight because of it. So a lot of guys eat pretty healthy, but they eat around the maintenance mark of where their weight is. So if you're doing that, you're never going to lose weight. So the strategy for that is keep eating healthy, lower your portions a little bit, get into a calorie deficit, you'll lose weight. All right, very simple stuff. What are your thoughts on Isagenix? This is an interesting one. I have a big problem with Isagenix. I don't like bashing companies. I don't like bashing other people because everyone has their own system that works. But Isagenix are dangerous long term. One, for your metabolism, for your mental health, and just really screws you up. So essentially what they're doing is you're going on like a juice kind of diet or a shake kind of diet where you're just dropping your calories and your calories are plummeting to about 1,000 calories, 1,200 calories, sometimes less, sometimes 500 to 800 calories. Once you're doing this, obviously you're in a massive calorie deficit. So you're going to burn a crap load of weight. The problem with this is your body panics. Your body really panics because it's losing so much weight, doesn't know what to do. Your metabolism drops because your body's going, we need to stop this weight loss. So after a while, you'll plateau on that, and then so now your metabolism, your body's only burning 800 calories a day because that's what it's dropped to. As soon as you get off these shakes and go back to eating anywhere above 800 calories a day, which is really easy to do. So if you go back to eating 2,000 calories, that's a 1,200 calorie surplus. You'll put the weight on twice as quick. Setting you up for long-term failure and fucking metabolism up in the process. So I have a problem with Isagenix. So my advice is don't bother with them. They're a quick fix that don't work in the long term. Alright, they're obviously going to get you short-term results. That doesn't mean it's going to last. Okay, what are the right foods to eat? Interesting question. Again, how do we define the right foods? There are no right and wrong foods. There are no good and bad foods. Essentially, when you look at foods as right and wrong, if you have a so-called wrong food, you're going to feel guilty. All right, we don't want this. We want to make sure that any food you eat, if it's in your calorie range and you still want to lose fat, then that should be fine. Obviously, you're going to get the best health benefits from, hormonal benefits, full effects, all the nutrients you need from foods such as, like we said before, meats, fruits, vegetables, fibrous foods, starchy foods, grains, wheat, rice, pasta, dairy, good dairy, milk, cheese, even yogurt to a point. Yeah, so if you're just getting a range of foods and you're going to be getting enough nutrients, you're going to be feeling good. If you're eating an even amount of macros, carbs, fats, proteins, you're going to be feeling pretty good. Yeah, but don't look at it in terms of right and wrong. Just look at it in terms of how your body's going to respond. Okay, if you have junk food, mentally it feels right because you like the taste. Yeah, so okay, in that sense, you look at it as a right food. Health-wise, it's high in calories, so in that sense, it could be wrong food, but you shouldn't define it like that. High calorie doesn't mean bad, low calorie doesn't mean good. They're just numbers. Yeah, just much like your weight. All right, so next question, do you develop eating plans and training plans? I thought I'd answer this one because yes, we do. That's what our entire program is. So if you weren't sure about that, if you want more info on that, just let us know. I'm pretty active. I play basketball Mondays, footy Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturdays. Do I need to train more? This is an interesting one. So, training, essentially, most of the time you can't out-train a bad diet. Yeah, unless you're, an athlete that's, training insane amounts and you're burning, 7,000 to 8,000 calories a day, then you can basically eat what you want. Yeah, but if you're training 4 times a week, but it's not the most high-intensity stuff, then you could afford to do a little bit more. Yeah, you can afford to burn some more calories through training. But it's all what your body can handle. It's about overload. It's specific to the individual, as with most questions are. You're pretty active. You're right. You're doing well. If you're doing that, it doesn't matter how much training you're doing if your calories are out of whack. Yes, if you're eating too much food, you can do all the training you want, but you're never going to lose weight. If you're eating too little food, you're not going to be recovering your body if you're training that much. Yeah, so let's say you stay training that amount, your calories just need to get in check. If you train a little bit more, you can afford to eat a little bit more. Okay, again, all dependent on the situation. We've gone through these answers pretty quick, although the video's gone a little bit long, so I'm just going to finish the last few ones with quick answers. So, should I take pre-workout? Generally, no. If you're losing fat, and most of you guys are just trying to lose fat and lose a bit of weight, you don't need it. Do I need to do fasted cardio in the morning? Again, generally no. I do fasted cardio in the morning just because I like to get up and go for a walk/run. That's just to start my day. That's nothing to do with fat loss. It's nothing to do with results. That's simply because I like being fresh in the morning. I don't want to get up, eat something, then walk. But that might just confuse the answer. No, you don't need to do it. It doesn't have any significant impact, on your training or fat loss results. What macros should I be on? Very dependent on the person. Standard macros would be 40 protein, 30% carb, 30% fat. And that's a safe option for most people, but all depends on you and what you prefer. There's also obviously a minimum amount of protein you can be having and a minimum maximum amount of fat you can be having, and then carbs make up the remainder. How many meals should I eat per day? Again, depending on the person. 4 is a pretty cool amount just because you've got your breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then you have one in between lunch and dinner, which means that if you're eating 4 consistent meals throughout the day, you're never really hungry throughout the day, so you never feel like binge eating. And for a lot of guys, it's good because at night they tend to binge a lot, but if you have that extra meal between lunch and dinner, by the time dinner comes, you're not even that hungry anyway. You eat your dinner, you're really full, you're not going to binge on other crap. Yeah, so 4 is a cool little trick, but it all depends on the person, how much time you have, what work you do, that kind of thing. You could have 2 meals per day if it suited you and you're hitting your calorie intake. Yeah. And that sums up all the questions. Thank you very much for listening. Send in more questions if you've got them. Jump on webinar Wednesday tomorrow night. Otherwise, we'll talk to you real soon. We'll talk to you next week for Q&A Tuesday. Cheers, guys.